We went snowshoeing for the first time in Rocky Mountain National Park. We battled the weather and the altitude, but the views of the winter wonderland were absolutely worth it.
We stayed just outside of Boulder, Colorado last night, and it snowed 1 inch. It snowed at least 3 inches, and it's still snowing.
We're headed into Estes Park, where the plan was to pick up some snowshoeing equipment and go on a little snowshoe trip in Rocky Mountain National Park today. We are completely clouded in, so I don't know how the views are going to be. Hopefully it clears up a little bit, but we're just going to try and make it to Estes Park first.
Look at those gorgeous mountain views. The other issue that we are having is it's really, really cold outside, so the snow is freezing to the windshield as we're driving. So we have just the heat cranked up as high as we can to try and keep everything defrosted. And it's like 1,000,000 degrees in here. Like, we're almost sweating.
We just picked up our snowshoes, so we're going to head up to Rocky Mountain National Park, do a bunch of lake hikes today, and not sure how great the visibility is going to be, but it's supposed to be pretty, so this should be an adventure. We finally made it to the trailhead. A little snowy on the way up. They are plowing, but it'll be interesting on the way down. Jess is just hungry. So we're going to finish lunch here, and then we're going to get on the trail. We're going to head over to Dream Lake. There's 3 lakes on the way: Emerald, Nymph, and Dream. So far, the views are very nice. Even though you can't see super far because of the clouds, it's still snowing. Snowshoeing is definitely a little harder than just walking though. A little more effort.
Yeah.
Jess is already fatiguing.
You can probably hear me heavily breathing behind the camera. How much effort this is taking, I'm already starting to get sweaty, which is bad when it's cold outside. So I'm unzipping already. So far, the views are absolutely gorgeous here. I love it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, maybe.
We may or may not be at a lake. We're walking across the lake.
Dream Lake is the next lake we're coming to. So since we left Lake Nymph, I have been waiting for these to magically turn into like downhill skis for this section, because it's been all downhill to Dream Lake so far. They have pretty good grip, I'm not gonna lie.
It's so cold, my hair is frozen.
Guess who doesn't have to worry about frozen hair? 1 point, bald people. We made a mistake. We got a little off path here. We ended up almost back at the beginning.
So apparently after the lake that we were at, there was a trail that you could go to the left, but there wasn't, I guess, a used trail in the snow that went to the left, and the one that was used apparently took us back to the beginning. So we're almost back to the beginning, and now we have to make the long trek back up the hill to get to where we're supposed to go. So I'm not looking forward to that.
This is where we went wrong. Apparently there's a trail going that way. As you can see, there is no trail. So I think our plan is to cross back across, cut across that way, because it looks like people were going that way, and that should meet up with the trail.
That's the path we're supposed to take, and it's uphill, not downhill. These uphills are killing me. I'm starting to feel the altitude. The extra effort it is to do these in snowshoes is making this like me 10 times more out of breath.
It has been non-stop snowing on us too, but we're working. Not used to this elevation, so we're actually staying pretty warm, which is nice. The views are outstanding. Jess is up there taking a little break. We made it to Dream Lake, and in the winter you just walk right across it. It's pretty beautiful though. Jess's second lake she's ever been in. So we've been to 2 of the 3 lakes. We got 1 more to go. The final one is Emerald Lake. People say it's only like 10-15 minutes, so we're gonna knock that one out, and it's still snowing. And then we're gonna head back. Tell you what, it is pretty out here right now, but I can only imagine when you have clear skies and you can see the surrounding mountains. I bet this hike's unbelievable.
This is absolutely beautiful. We just left Emerald Lake and it was the prettiest lake of the 3, so I definitely recommend sticking it out and going all the way to Emerald Lake. Now we're heading back to the van. Luckily it's mostly downhill, so it should be a good trek back. And it's still snowing, even though it said it was supposed to stop by like 10 a.m. I'm getting cold on the way back. The downhills aren't as much effort as the uphills.
And this is Bear Lake. This is the closest one to the parking area. And it's still beautiful.
We made it back to the van and it was covered in snow again. So I wasn't sure about snowshoeing when we started, but once I got the hang of it, I did end up liking it a lot better by the end. So I definitely recommend snowshoeing if you haven't tried it before.
Also, if you do this trail, there's skiers on it, there's people with regular boots, there's people with crampons.
I would recommend, if you're coming in the snow though, snowshoes or spikes or something like that, because the people that didn't have them were slipping everywhere.
Yes.
But now we've cleaned off the car and we are heading over to the Aspen Glen campground.
Correct.
We're driving to our campground and there's a big deer in the middle of the road. This is the first wildlife we've seen on this trip. Is that a deer? It looks like a deer. I think you're gonna have to go around it. It does not look like it's moving.
We found some elk! Woohoo! Deer and elk. All in one trip to get to our campground.
That is awesome. Look at the horns on that thing.
Kevin made us dinner tonight. He made us a salad kit. And it doesn't look super appetizing, but it's rice with ground beef and taco seasoning.
Spanish rice.
Oh, I'm sorry, Spanish rice.
Protein, carbs, and kind of a vegetable. Quick and easy. And that way we can go to sleep early tonight and I'll be happy.
The low last night was about 2 degrees, so last night before bed we turned off our water pump and just ran our lines dry because we were worried things were going to freeze. So this morning we tried to turn our water pump back on and it's frozen. You can't hear anything and nothing's coming out of the sink. So we're going to roll up all the bedding, we're going to open up the benches, and we're just going to try and get as much heat into the bench with the water system as possible in hopes that our water pump unfreezes. In the meantime, we totally forgot to pick up extra water when we were in town, so we were gonna head back into Estes Park, get a couple gallons of water to tide us over until hopefully our water pump unfreezes. The joys of winter van life. This line here is the line that runs from our water tank to the water pump, and it is frozen. So hopefully once we get some air circulating in here, that will unfreeze and we can have our water again.
So our electrical bench was cold also, so we went ahead and opened that up. And this is the mess we have in our van right now, trying to warm everything up. The one thing we have been impressed with is how well the van has been doing in the snow. We've on nothing but snowy roads the past 24 hours, and it is handled awesome. So, A+ for a Sprinter van, 4-wheel drive with the KO2 tires. We have water again. Yes.
We're back at the Bear Lake trailhead and we're gonna snowshoe down to Alberta Falls. The parking lot closest to the falls was full, so we had to park up here, but the park ranger said it was only about an extra half a mile down to the falls. So let's get going. The path is going down, so it's not going to be fun to come back up here on the way back. But it's absolutely gorgeous, all the snow and the trees and everything. You feel like you're in some like magical land of Narnia or something. It's awesome.
Once you get out of the windy parking lot, it's not bad at all back here. Zero complaints.
Encountered a downed tree. Let's see how graceful I can get over this with my snowshoes on. I did it! Was I somehow more graceful than Kevin? Nailed it.
There's a little path to go around, but that wouldn't have been as fun.
I didn't even see that.
Pretty nice. The views start opening up so you can see the mountains in the background.
Behold, Alberta Falls. We ate a quick snack with our bird friend that's up in the tree with our beautiful view of the non-falls, and now we're gonna head back to the van. I will say, even though we couldn't see the falls, the hike up here was absolutely gorgeous, so I recommend heading up this way and checking it out if you're in the area. Once you get past the lower parking lot, it's just a straight uphill trek back to the Bear Lake parking lot, and I'm feeling it in this altitude. Just huffing and puffing. But luckily it's only about 0.4 miles back up there, so it's not too long of an uphill trek. Let's keep going. We're waiting for the park rangers to pull someone back onto the road. It looks like they skidded off to the side, so we decided to make ourselves lunch and eat in the van while we're waiting. We ended up having a lot of fun snowshoeing in Rocky Mountain National Park.
It's an activity almost anyone can do, and the hikes we did were not super challenging, so we highly recommend checking them out if you're here in the winter.
Now we're heading on to the next part of our adventures. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.